O'clock. Let's call the meeting to order. Could everybody please stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance. Thank you. Is there any public comment? Any public comment, please come up and state your name and address for the record. To the microphone, please.
Mike Kearney, 72 Mountain Road, Seymour, Commander of the American Legion, Post 10 in Seymour, and board member of Seymour Historical Society. One of the things that piqued my interest to come to this meeting was item number 6 on your agenda. This has been a discussion for a long time at different times, and I mean, my position has been well known to some of these people about renaming that park. My understanding it was Champions Park for the longest time, Broad Street Park, but I found out that there was a contest for the, I guess all the, now, I don't know why that came up or how it came up, but my opinion always been this: if they're going to do that, they should keep it in the Seymour historic interest. One thing I brought with me, we have it over the post, and I don't know if you've ever seen this. I don't see it hanging around in here. Is Seymour town flag. I don't know if anybody's ever. I don't know if the town hall has a copy of this.
No, we do not.
There was a program and a contest back about 35 years ago. We were putting the monuments up at French Park, and they had a contest at the Seymour Middle School, which is the community center. And I don't remember the lady's, the student's first name, but her last name was Garrity. She won the contest to design this flag. And if you notice in the middle of the flag, it's basically almost the same as the town of Seymour seal, with the Indian and the falls. Well, Joe Choose was the Indian that they're talking about, and there's a little history going back with him, back to the late 1600s, early 1700s, where he lived under the falls, part of the Pequot Indians, and it was named after, I guess they nicknamed him Joe Choose, and they named the town of Seymour Chewstown for approximately 80 years until it was renamed Humphreysville. But again, if the board doesn't take any action, you know, it stays Broad Street Park, that's one thing. But my recommendation, again, from my positions, is I think we should keep with Seymour's heritage and history, and if they're going to rename it after Joe Choose, or Choose Town, or Choose Park, if it's going to be renamed. That's going to be the board's decision, but I figured I'd come down here and share my thoughts on that from my both positions from the Legion and the Historical Society. I had the opportunity to be a docent at the house for the when the third graders came from both schools and the middle school, and that's one of the things they taught them when they came in about Joe Choose and the Indians. So there's a lot of rich history with the town of Seymour with Joe, and I think that'd be appropriate if you do take the action to do that. So again, I thank you for your time, and I don't know when the board is going to make their decision. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Any other public comment going three? No other further public comment. Can I have the approval of the minutes for the December 17th, 2024 regular meeting?
So moved.
Motion by Pat,
Second.
second by Bob. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries 5-0-0. Thank you. Approval for minutes of the December 26th special meeting. Motion by Trish. I need a second. You were not at the meeting, but did you
I read these reviews, but I just wasn't, I can't correlate.
okay. You weren't there either. Fred, were you there?
I was not present. I'm going to vote yes when the appropriate motion is asked to be
I
acted
can't
upon,
second it,
because
can
I
I?
familiarized myself with the minutes, but I don't think it's appropriate for someone not present to move.
I typically don't approve, I wasn't at the meeting, typically abstain.
Can we table?
Yes, you could table them,
All right,
because you'll have, hopefully Teresa and Al at the next meeting.
fine.
I'll rescind my motion.
All right,
And I
Trish,
have
a
another
motion
way
to
do
table.
this, but it's kind of convoluted. You'd have to step down as chair. Somebody'd have to be the chair pro tem, and then you could make, give a second motion, somebody make it. But I think the easiest and cleanest is to have.
Let's just
people
table it.
who attended the meeting be here.
Motion to table.
Motion by Pat,
Second.
second by Bob. All in discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 5-0. A discussion and take possible action regarding the recommendation of the awards committee for the renaming of Broad Street Park. I will turn this over to you, Mr. Stanek, or Selectman Stanek, sorry.
Thank you, Madam First Selectwoman. This evening, we have the results of the contest that we asked the students at the Seymour Public Schools to enter to propose names for the Broad Street Park, which has been called different names over the years. The Vietnam Korean Memorial Park, I've heard at times in the past, Champions Park, Broad Street Park, whatever. Earlier this year, this board passed an ordinance regarding the naming of public areas and facilities. And I made a proposal some months ago that we rename Broad Street Park. Part of that was a discussion of a contest among the students, and the awards committee solicited students through the assistant principal at Chatfield Lopresti School, Stephanie Chacon, who coordinated the contest, solicited essays. And we received 17 entrants, and the awards committee has decided to recommend a winner and a runner-up of the contest. So at the appropriate time, I will mention who those winners are.
Okay.
So hopefully we've addressed some of Mr. Kearney's questions and issues. However, the ordinance does call for a public hearing by the board, if the board is so inclined. And we are not obligated to accept the winner of this contest name for the park. So I think it should be open to the public, but some weight be given to the winner's entry. Interestingly, the winner of the contest, according to the awards committee, is Alexandra Sirwani, who proposes to name the park Choose Park, after Chief Choose.
What was her name?
Alexandra Sirwani. We will invite the two individuals to come to a meeting. Is that correct, Madam First Selectwoman?
Yes.
The two students, and they could read their essays. The runner-up is Mackenzie Blood, who proposed to name the park Broad River Community Park. I could read the essays. I submitted those essays of the winners to the board, but I could read the essays publicly if you wish.
That is totally up to you if you wish.
I think we
to
could
use
leave that to the students.
it. I think that'd be great.
So I will make a motion that this board recognize Alexandra Sirwani, and I'll give Leanna the spelling of the names later, as the winner of the Name the Park contest, and Mackenzie Blood as the runner-up.
Second.
Motion by Fred, second by Trish. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 5-0.
So we should talk about a public hearing. We don't have to have a public hearing. The ordinance states that the board may have a public hearing. I think we should, but that's up to you folks.
I think whenever we're changing a name for something, we should have a public hearing to make sure that everybody's well aware of
I
it.
think, did we not discuss at the meeting, though, that I think we wanted to finesse the name a little bit to add to
We
it?
could talk about that in the public hearing.
So we have to set a date, Kurt, for a public hearing? When would you like to set the date? 30 days? Public hearing, we'll set the date for February Our next town meeting is the 21st.
So it'd be February 4th.
Okay.
And the time?
I'll do it 6:30. That work?
That's fine.
Okay.
If I may, Pat, you seem to have some interest in advertising this issue. I don't know what you had in mind.
Well, I just think that we, need to get the word out there and, hopefully at the public hearing, we'll get some, input from the public. I personally, I don't have any problem with changing the name. I think there were, what's being submitted and the first runner-up and or second runner-up, those names are fine. I just know that one of the original themes when we were going through the funding over there was to have veterans of all the wars, which my dad was included in. We purchased bricks for over there, so again, I think that's with keeping with the theme of originally what they wanted to do. However, whatever name we come up with through the public hearing, I'll be satisfied with.
Thank you.
So we'll have the public hearing set date for February 4th, 2025, to go over the naming of Broad Street Park to Shoes Park, or what other name?
Whatever. We'll listen to everyone, Pat, and then it's up to us to decide on the name, if we want to. As I said in my proposal, I think a name more appropriate than Broad Street Park should be named park, should be used.
Yep.
It's a beautiful park, and it has a lot of history. And the veterans, VFW, did a lot of work there.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Item number 7, discussion and possible action regarding the Board of Select Persons' recommendations for consideration to the Charter Revision Commission. We are missing 2 board members tonight, Teresa Conroy and Al Bruno. And even though Teresa sent in hers, Fred, you sent in something, Al did not. I have mine. Trish, you
I have not yet.
You have not yet. Bob, you sent in yours, and Mr. Lombardi, you have not sent in yours. Do you have any changes, any suggested changes?
Well, I'm unfortunately did not put mine together by the timeline which was requested by this board.
Okay.
As you all know, I was the chairman of the last charter revision, so it has, I know what you're going to say. It has taken me a little bit of time to go through my notes from 5 years ago and actually start pinning some specific items that could potentially be brought before the elector for changes with the approval of the commission once your draft report has been presented to this board. So that will be forthcoming.
Okay. So maybe maybe we make a motion to table this into our next meeting. This way, all the other board members are here, and they can explain what their suggested changes are.
So moved. I don't have.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it.
I know we have 2 members here now. Do you have an issue with that?
No, may I address the board?
You may.
I have no issue with it, just.
To the microphone.
State your name
Yeah,
and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Tom Gardella, 8 Lantern Drive, Seymour. No issue with it. I just want to make sure that we have something, our initial meeting is scheduled for the 27th of this month.
Correct. Our next Board of Selectmen meeting is on the 21st.
Okay, so that would be fine.
So that we would have everything in, if you, I know Mr. Lombardo is here as well, John Lombardo is also on the Charter Revision Commission. You can come and you can hear the board present what they would like to see changed and the reasons why. And of course, then we would make the resolutions to go to your board, and then it's up to your board to do with it as you see fit.
I don't see that's a problem as long as certainly recommendations, 21st, let's say they all come in on the 21st. That certainly in writing, so we can bring it to our first meeting on the 27th, which I perceive that that first meeting will be more than organizational, get our act together, dates we're gonna meet, make sure that, we're all set to move.
Right.
As far as making sure we have a secretary to certainly follow the FOI, get the minutes together, and, plan some agendas, so it's gonna be organizational, so I do not think of the detriment to that committee because we're organizing ourselves, so that'd be fine.
So
I
you'll,
was on the
you'll,
last one, and
I'm
you'll
sorry,
have-
excuse
I was
me?
on the last charter revision,
Okay.
and yeah, you'll have time because that you're going to get all of it done. And I think what's also going to happen is, you know, if something comes up in the meantime, because we have the ones that we're giving you right now, we might want to submit something that comes up later. We still would want
Right.
the ability to be able to.
Right.
Something might pop up and say, "Oh, wait, but we forgot about that." To be able to get it to you in your hands.
I see no problem being ongoing until we're done with our job. And any type of submissions from the board, certainly accepted at any point in time. And it's gonna be public meetings, bring some,
Yeah.
potential recommendations from any town, member, anybody that's a resident of the town of Seymour. Open meetings, and I think that's the way we're gonna handle it.
that's great.
One of the things that we did 5 years ago is we put together a letter to all boards and commissions within the town. I think, Bob, you'll remember that. And we actually asked them if they could not appear, if they could leave their recommendations in the town clerk's office, which we had established a place for them to keep those kind of things. And I guess the bottom line was to you and to your commission, that it worked out successfully for us, and I certainly hope that it works out successfully for you if that is the venue which you choose to
Well,
take.
it sounds like an excellent idea, certainly, I've been on various boards in the town of Seymour, so I'm very familiar with the actions of the town of Seymour. That would be great. Any recommendations from selectmen of how to handle it? I've not been on this particular committee before. Certainly, if you can jot it down, email it to me, we'll make sure that we'll discuss it at our initial meeting, because while we can use your advice, your help, you've been there before. Let's listen, and then we can take the appropriate actions to listen. Certainly, I think for some, organizations in the town, I think it'd be appropriate for the committee to go. I'll pick on the police department, the fire department, public works. That if it's convenient for the committee, or let's say a subcommittee, 3 people say, to go there and meet with them at their particular place, we'll go there and meet. Or if they want to come before a committee.
You're obviously gonna, I did not serve on the last one. I have chaired a prior one many years ago. So
Okay.
just make sure you have a very strong chairman, vice chairman, just to organize the chunks that you're going, how you're going to organize what you're discussing at each
Okay.
meeting, because that will keep it moving forward. And then
Certainly.
a revisit.
Absolutely.
And-
I believe, and correct me, Madam Select Woman, that in fact, I believe you asked me to be the chairman. Is that still in place?
Yes.
Okay, fine. It was asked for me to be the chairman of the committee, and absolutely fine.
And also, we'll have an attorney there as well, so Brian Leclerc will be there, and Kurt will be there, and you'll have a secretary to take care of
Okay,
it.
good. That's exactly my question. If you need a secretary, I certainly need town council there, so we can bounce things off of. And we'll get a vice chair also, be chairman, but we need a vice chairman also.
That should be part of your organizational meeting, okay?
Absolutely.
And I don't give too many accolades, but Brian Leclerc from Bircham and Moses, who most likely will be your legal advisor. He will do an excellent job with you, and he will work with you, and he will take you through processes and any questions that you or your board members may have.
Excellent. Any advice, any help, totally accepted by the committee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I plan on being here the 21st. I think I'm in the state on the 21st, but I should be on the 21st.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
take care, be safe. Thank you.
Thank you,
You
Tom.
as well.
And if I may, just a
Absolutely.
reminder, either the first select woman or your designee has to open that meeting.
I will be at that
Oh,
meeting.
yeah,
Okay,
she is.
good.
I will be at that meeting. There are not many meetings that I am not at.
Okay, very good.
Thank you. Okay, so we tabled item number 7. Ordinance committee discussing possible action, authorizing the use of the automatic traffic enforcement and safety devices. Rich?
Yes, if I may, Madam First Selectwoman, under Section 6.5 of the Charter, this board cannot act on it tonight because we just had our public hearing. You cannot act within 5 days of the
Right.
public hearing. It has to be more sort of there's a provision you might want to take a look at. So it should be acted upon at the next meeting on the 21st.
All right, so we'll table this until January 21st,
I think that would be
2025.
appropriate, yeah.
May I have a motion?
Make a motion to table the ordinances until our next meeting.
Motion
Second.
by Trish. Second by Bob. Discussion?
I guess the provision wants us to sleep on whether or not we want to pass these ordinances. So,
All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 5-0.
You said that, Tom Gardella, you said the 21st. I can't be here because I'm at a UConn game with my daughter up in
Okay.
Hartford, so
Well, that is very important.
I'm not going to blow off my daughter.
Absolutely not. That's fine. You don't have to, you don't have to be here
Okay.
for that.
Certainly, I imagine things are going to be in writing. I would
Yes.
assume
It'll be
that.
recorded.
Okay.
it'll be recorded too.
It'll be recorded, but also we'll give you everything in writing.
Okie dokie, and then
You can come pick it up the 22nd, and then we'll have packets made for you on the, for your committee on the 27th.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Item number 9, executive session.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Motion by Trish, Inc.
Who should
have to
stay?
read- don't you
With,
have to read?
with our attorney.
I would have Mr. Miller join us as the CAO and the members of the Board of Select persons. All 3 of these are matters that are pending litigation. That's the basis.
Make a motion to go into executive session to discuss open litigation cases, and remaining in the room along with the Board of Select persons is our Chief Administrative Officer Kurt Miller, as well as our Town Attorney Rich Torla.
And for the record, no actions or votes were taken during the executive session.
Item number 10, appointments. In your packet, we have, an appointment, Brian Capozzi is going to the WPCA, he's replacing Rob Van Egan. His expiration term is 12/20/25.
So moved.
Motion by Pat. Second by Bob. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries.
Did we get an official?
Letter from Rob, yes, I'll get that. Transfers, we have no transfers. Tax refunds and abatements, please check out the tax refund abatement, ensure there are no, motion by Chris, second by Bob, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. Correspondences. Oh, actually, tax abatement, from Dana Flack for 25 Walnut Street. The town now owns 25 Walnut Street, so this is the abatement for the property. Sorry. We now own 25 Walnut Street, so this is the abatement for the property. And then in your letter is also the notice of the award for Red Technologies and Earth Core agencies, as well as Blizzard Mechanicals. Those were, Red Core was for the UST removal. The police department refrigeration units was for Earth Core, and Blizzard Mechanical was the notice of award to the community center HVAC project. Public comment? Come on up, state your name and address for the record. Oh, you got to turn,
Again, 72 Mount Road. Don't speak loud enough. Just a couple things. I was reading online the blight ordinance. If I read it correctly, if you don't make a complaint and put your name on it, does the blight officer still go around and check blight?
yes, sir?
Okay. The town flag, any way the town can turn around and get some of those made for the town? I don't know what you'd have to
Absolutely.
do that. We could give you, look at the flag here and make a copy of that. I think it's important for the town to have their own flag.
Absolutely. If you can give us that flag, we can have Dee or Kurt, get it ordered for us.
Give it back.
Absolutely.
And then, I don't know why I didn't think this before.
Mike,
but
hold on.
Sorry.
the flags behind you are not put in order of flag code. There shouldn't be any flags on the right side of the American flag as you're facing it. I'll check that out for you.
Thank you.
And then I gave Steve a flyer, Fort Chaplain service. For those of you who don't know, the Fort Chaplains, the USAT Dorchester, sunk on the 3rd of February, 1943. We've been doing it, memorial service through Post 10 around the different churches and organizations in the valley. This year we're going to be conducting the Fort Chaplain Memorial Service February 3rd, 7 o'clock, Seymour Congregational Church. I gave the flyer to Steve to put on the town website. Some of you probably have seen that or been to that memorial service. It's pretty moving. The chaplains gave up their life jackets on the deck of the Dorchester when it sunk, and then went down with the ship. And then the banners that go on our fence over at the post. Maybe Pat knows, there was a banner put on for a food collection over at Stop and Shop. Do you know who that was?
That's the police department or the fire departments.
Do you know when they could come pick it up? It's behind our flag box in the yard.
Well, I'll tell them to come pick it up.
I mean, hopefully they could use it again.
Yeah.
Because usually when somebody wants to put something on our fence, they come and ask us, and most of the time the nonprofits say, sure, put it on there. Good advertising, because you come off that exit or you come down Wakely. But we don't know how that got there and who put it there. And because I know the fire department, they talked to us when they put the breakfast thing up and all that.
Right.
So I just didn't have any input from anybody, how that banner suddenly appeared in our fence. And then it disappeared and I found it on our flag box. So, again, I don't, I'll check on these flags for you and then, I'll give that flag to Kurt.
Fred, you have a question?
Fred had a question.
Yes, if I may. What, if anything, do you know about the history of the flag, the town of Seymour flag that you
The only thing I knew is back when we were putting the monuments up at the park, when Bill Polipchak and the crew, there's only one person on that committee alive now, it's Pete Duke. All the rest of the committee is gone, so you can't ask any of them. They solicited some ideas on their committee and they decided to have a contest to design a town flag. And my understanding, because I was a newbie in the Legion at the time over here, that it was the old middle school down here where the community center is. And I don't know what guidelines they put on in front of the kids, but that's the design that she got together. I don't know how she did it, where she got it from, because you got the town seal there. It's pretty close. And that's the winning flag that they picked. That's got to be 35 years ago plus. And they made, from my understanding, they made like a dozen copies of that flag. We've got, I think, another one. I think we've got another one at the post. I'm not sure.
Do you know if there was any official adoption of the flag?
I
by
have.
This board?
I'd have to look back. Those records might be buried someplace. You could probably look into town records. Because if it's an official,
I'm
if
just
it's official
curious.
town flag, it should be documented someplace.
Thank you.
I mean, I wish I could tell you, with Bill Polipchak and them, the ran the committee, Sam Wasco, and I think Joe Marcinek and all that crew from the VFW and the American Legion, And I just want to make one more comment. Pat made a comment on the park. And this is not to be taken offensively, but there's been a lot of headbutting because of the being designated as a veterans park. Now, we have one of the best veteran parks in the state up at French Park. And for those of you that have been around in town, know the headbutting we've had with the VFW, American Legion, as far as naming that park. And again, I'm veteran, over 52 years over the American Legion, been commander for 25. Utmost respect for the veterans, but that to me is a town park, not just designated for veterans. The backdrop on that and the back story on that, you probably know Pat, who was involved in that the whole thing, and again, I don't want to get into that argument and everything, but as far as I'm concerned, we have one veterans park in Seymour with thousands of names up at French Park, including Korean and Vietnam vets that served. So again, no disrespect to the bricks and everything that are down here, but our loyalty is to Veterans Grove French Memorial.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay. Select persons' comments, we will start with Pat.
I'm good, thank you, Madam First Selectwoman.
Bob?
I am good this evening. Thank you.
Trish?
May I just ask Kurt, our Chief Administrative Officer, a question? Last meeting, we had voted on moving forward with Antonazzi and Associates, moving forward with a design is new. Are you going to come back to this board just to present? Also, I think Fred and I would like to bring back to the building committee what that will look like as our fund balance. When we have to start repaying, what our fund balance will look like, so we have some guidelines on build is new and what we want to spend.
So one term.
You are going to come back with something on fund balance and look at what was presented and how that would affect our fund balance when it came time to repay.
Oh, I can have that ready whenever the board wants it to be ready.
I still want to see the data. Because I
That's-
want to
yeah,
give some feedback. Again, the way I look at it is voting on moving forward as a build as new school, but I still want to see what that looks like, so we have some guideline on what that's going to look like for the committee
Yeah, so just tell
And
me when
moving
you'd like
forward.
to see it is what I'm saying too. I have all the numbers, so,
Okay,
yeah,
thank
that's
you.
not a problem.
If I may,
You were next, so go ahead.
I would like to explore with Antonowski Associates the fact that if we have a full-time
Fred?
preschool.
You're,
I would like to explore with Antonowski Associates the issue of if we have a full-time preschool program at Bungay School, we might be entitled to another 10% reimbursement.
That is correct. There's bumps for,
We have a preschool program at Bungay. About 50% of the students are full-time, about 50% are part-time. So I would like to explore what the Board of Education would need to do with that program, whether it currently satisfies that 10% requirement or not, or whether it has to be a full-time program with how many students. So I think that's important, and that's what I want to explore immediately, and then maybe we could have a serious chat with you.
I mean, I have the debt model's based on current. So if anything, something like that were to happen,
It would just be a benefit.
well, the percentage would improve, but it's gonna add costs, I would assume, for programming space and
I
things
don't
like
know
that.
that.
So-
I don't know whether it has to be a full-time program, or whether, maybe we qualify now.
Could be. The one that I've worked on previous, they had to add programming space to
Okay,
qualify.
all right,
So, but,
okay.
okay.
but again, not different situation, so you may be correct, Mr. Stanek, that is the case.
I don't know, but I know there is the possibility of another 10% reimbursement, which would be substantial, of course.
Oh, definitely, absolutely.
Any
You
other
agree
comment?
that you'd like the data though, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we still want to see the data, so if you can have that for the next meeting, if it's something that you've been working on.
So you're saying there might be a head count cost, there's other things that would impact that 10%
Potentially, yes.
for
Did the building committee look at, I know we're getting off topic, so.
But I'll have a full debt service model of what projections might look like for build is new.
Our next meeting of the committee is next Tuesday. I'm not sure if we need to have the meeting, maybe we should postpone it. But I've got to talk to Antonowski Associates tomorrow. But if you have date available for Tuesday, fine. If not, we'll take it up next month.
I'll definitely have it for the next this board's meeting.
Okay.
Do you want to see it before it goes to a subcommittee? I think this board should.
This board needs to see it before it goes to that
Right.
subcommittee.
That's what I assume. So, I mean, I'll definitely have it for the 21st. It's not a problem at all.
But I know they also sent over the cost for the remodel, you know, not new, but your renovation.
Renovate as new.
Renovate, not as new, or
Yeah, it was
build
renovated.
new, renovate as new. And I don't know if the committee looked at that and went through that and said, do we need that, do we need this, do we need that? You know, I know there were some costs in there that I had some questions about, but I can go to the school and ask that question.
Yeah, I can model out anything that the board wants. So it's not a problem.
Yes, whatever questions you have, let us submit them to us, and we'll discuss them with the architect or come to the meeting. I know you go to so many meetings, but if you want to submit them in writing, we'd be happy to address them.
Sort of my job. I will. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Comments from the first select woman.
Oh,
Okay.
if I may,
Oh, I thought you were done. I am so sorry.
we got off on the building project.
Were you
I
done?
think it would be did you want to go?
I was just going to say Happy New Year to everybody.
Okay. I think it might be appropriate if we pause for a moment in silence to honor in memory of President Carter. He was President of the United States, doesn't matter what party he was a member of.
Absolutely.
And also, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for Tony Lopresti, former principal of Seymour High School for 23 years, who was not only a principal of Seymour High School, but served on boards and commissions, and was always fair and ready to help anybody. So we might take a moment of silence in honor and memory of both individuals. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
We have a new business opening up. It's called Bottom Nine Sports Academy at 77 Derby Avenue. They are a baseball and softball training. They're not a travel league. They have the kids go there and they train one-on-one with the kids. They're not taking kids and trying to put them in travel leagues. They're just trying to help the kids and advance the kid. I guess they were in Naugatuck and now they're in Seymour. New business opening up on 5 Bank Street. There's a grocery store or bodega opening in the old Krav Maga. The condos on Spring Street have been complete. Newport Academy has taken over the old Olives and Oil. It is now their cafeteria. The residents are living in the housing part, but not in the Villa Bianca part. And online permitting has started. Our town engineer had a meeting with Aquarian regarding the Bungie Road. They're committing to sweeping. They agreed that the shim code that they put on should not have been put on. It was bad. But Aquarian still has 2 to 3 offsets to do, which is like 3 days worth of work over in the Bungie Terrace and Bungie Court area of Bungie Road, that area. So they're still going to be doing that. Construction on Bungie, notice to proceed will be out for February 3rd. They're going to start working on it in March. It's going to be done in 4 phases. We believe the first phase is going to be over by Botsford to Great Hill Road. That's where they're going to be milling that road and repaving that area. So it's going to be going from Botsford, basically it's like Carriage Drive area, all the way up to Great Hill Road. Bless you. Frontier has to drop 25 poles to put those in. That's going to take about 2 weeks for them. They're going to work on the drainage for the catch basins coming in. The funeral home will be the end of the project, is what I was told today. We're looking at LEPC meeting. There was an LEPC meeting. They're looking at dredging Hoadley's Pond potentially. Looking at that. There's some stuff on Facebook about the overnight parking. We cannot park on the even side of the parking is on the even side of the roads this year because winter was 2024. So if you're parked on the outside of the road, you're supposed to be getting tickets. The police department wasn't enforcing this around Christmas because it was Christmas time, but now they're enforcing it. Last night they wrote out 28 tickets. So if you're parked on the outside of the road, you're most likely going to get a ticket. Not on the even side, and it's because people are complaining that they should be enforcing the parking. So now that they're enforcing the parking, now people are probably going to complain about that. I just wanted to update everybody. Our EMD updated me on the power outages that are going on. There's 35, nobody's at the shelters, but we have 35 people without power. Normally it's all West Street and New Street, and they're going to close the shelter at 10 o'clock because nobody's up there. And Eversource is still working on West Street. They're hoping to have the power back onto the plaza within 24 hours and to those homes, hopefully. I think that was about all. Oh, the last charter revision, there was talk, was it when Paul Roy was in office? It was like 2018, 2019. I remember Kurt was in office, and there was a couple things that got okayed, but the majority of the stuff didn't get changed. I know it was the grammar didn't get fixed. That was the one thing that got voted down. The town becoming a town management form of government got voted down. So the last charter change, we kept saying it was when Paul Roy was in office, and that was when we had the big charter revision, but we had a minor one done in 2018, 2019 timeframe, if I remember correctly. And then we are going to have a meeting in the community about that Bungie Road construction, probably towards the middle or end of February. And that's all I have. I hope everyone gets home safely and stays warm.
All the bids have come back.
All the bids have come back. They were back last month.
I make some type of graphical plan that you could put on the website and
Yeah.
always have there.
We weren't notified. Bids came back.
Bids for what? Bungie Road. That was brought up at a here. That was we awarded it.
I would put together though,
Okay.
you said you're gonna have a meeting, but I'd have something you have on the website that describes what's gonna
The
happen, so it's
breakdown, yeah,
always
that's what we're
there.
gonna do.
So.
Yeah. All right, and with that, I adjourn the meeting.